Ladies and gentlemen, our program competition is about to resume. Judges, once again, we ask that you please take your assigned seats. Thank you. Judges, please remember to raise your hand to receive a microphone so you can ask your question during the question and answer period. Thank you.
Okay. Check, check, check. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Easy, Nigerians.
Yeah. Church me again? Check, check, check.
Check, check.
Check, check.
Judges, please help me welcome the team from Nigeria. You have 1 minute left in your setup period. You may now begin your presentation.
Our home, northern Nigeria, is known as the center of commerce and recognized for its thriving agriculture. But since the year 2000, the once peaceful region has been the location of ongoing crises, brutal campaigns, killing 10,000 people and displacing thousands of others, hereby altering their way of life.
Coordinated attacks by its militants in northern Nigeria have killed 60 people.
There's at least 69 dead, although some reports put them up.
As a result of increased violence, organized crime, and recently terrorism, this region is now the least developed and consequently the home to over 80 million people, has witnessed a surge in massive poverty, gender inequality, environmental degradation, and many more. Despite all these challenges, we have crossed borders, endangered our lives to invest in the future and to create a better world.
Behind me is a picture of Jacob, one of the 19 million physically challenged Nigerian citizens. His birth, like every disabled child, brings deep sorrow and disappointment to the entire family. The level of shock, pain, or disbelief is determined by the degree to which the disability is clearly visible, thus creating an adverse emotional and financial burden on the parents in most cases. Ever since the 1940s, the United Nations affirms the essentiality of a universal respect for and the observance of fundamental human rights for all physically challenged individuals without distinction.
But sadly, these Nigerians suffer the most, as they are not allowed to exercise their fundamental human rights on an equal basis with others. According to the Center for Citizens with Disability, less than 0.1% of schools in Nigeria are facilities for people with disability. After going through a tedious educational system, most of these individuals end up unemployed and are not considered potential members of the workforce. Perception and myth continues to limit the understanding and acceptance of these individuals in the labor market, thereby subjecting them to abject poverty and isolation. But why should this be?
Do these people have to live an impoverished life? With some of these disabilities caused by genetic mutation, what happens to their offspring? Does poverty have to be a trait of their generation? Or worse, with most of these disabilities caused by accidents, what happens to me if I suddenly go blind or lose my legs? Will that be the end of my life? Does that mean all my aspirations will go down the drain?
On this note, we carried out a need assessment with key stakeholders in our communities, where we discovered that these physically challenged individuals lack sufficient skill to generate income as a result of them being marginalized, abused, or neglected by the society, which signifies the social and economic factor being relevant.
And seeing this need, our team decided to empower 70 physically challenged individuals in Kaduna State Rehabilitation Center with our project, Power in My Palms.
A voice for the voiceless.
Honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to stand before you and to state how we have committed our lives by applying ideas and our passion to impact the life of physically challenged individuals, not just to hand out help to them because they're in need, but to work side by side with them to create opportunities and to ensure that everyone we touch is empowered to live up to their fullest potentials.
And considering the fact that they are blind, crippled, deaf, and dumb, we came up with a one-month training structure in partnership with ODEM Solution, who serve as a resource person by providing means of training them on several skills acquisitions. We made this possible by using teaching aids such as Braille for the blind and sign language for the deaf and dumb individuals. In the first phase of the training, we started with a motivational session to show these people how productive they can be to society, thereby breaking the social barrier. We went a step further to organize a skill acquisitional session where we creatively converted waste to wealth by teaching them how to use beads and corn rings to produce bags, shoes, jewelries, and souvenirs with little amount of money spent in the cost of production.
In the second phase of this training, we taught them on the production of emulsion paint and enhance their fabrication skill. In order to help them generate more income, we taught them business skills, effective bookkeeping, and exposed them to various opportunities on how to sell their goods. We also came up with a 3-for-all marketing strategy where the deaf saw for the blind heard for the deaf, and the cripple spoke for all. Thus, through this effective marketing strategy, they now work together as a team to expand their business.
Our post-test showed that our beneficiaries are happy and glad as their quality of life and standard of living has been improved. They now have self-esteem as we have reintegrated them into the society and they have a better hope in life. 12 of them now earn an average of $125, giving a cumulative of $1,500 monthly.
38 physically challenged individuals produce over 100 buckets of paint with a profit of over $800.
22 deaf can now afford hearing aids, and the blind now purchase canes to aid their movement.
14 crippled individuals now own wheelchairs.
And each of 50 individuals can now earn an average of $187 monthly.
In order to create a sustainable system, training manuals were distributed in audio tapes for the blind and sign language videos for new intakes. 2 officials at the center were also taught on how to carry out all the skills acquisition.
In order to expose their business to market and more clients, 2 sales outlets were established, where we ensured that one of them was online, considering the fact that the internet is the fastest means of global advertisement.
And to create a continuous demand for their products and enhance business growth, we collaborated with the Kaduna State Association for Physically Challenged People, where a proposal was sent to the Kaduna State legislation, recommending that a certain percentage of all fabrication contracts should be allocated to the individuals in that rehabilitation center.
In line with the Enactus judging criterion, we consider the economic factor by converting waste to wealth, using conwings to produce goods for their business purposes and preventing environmental pollution, thereby increasing their knowledge and capacity to generate income.
Considering the social factor, we've been able to pull them out of isolation by proving to them that there is ability in their disability. This has made other individuals see the potentials of physically challenged people, and our team has successfully put smiles on their faces by motivating them to utilize their will to overcome their challenges.
Our target group were in need as they were isolated, lacked productive skills, and faced discrimination. And we adopted a collaborative approach by getting all these people to work together to increase their capacity and their knowledge to generate income, thereby effectively empowering them.
By implementing a tree-for-all marketing approach, and through our innovation of converting cornrings into craft talks, we have applied economic, business, and entrepreneurial concepts in this project.
The quality of life and standard of living of our beneficiaries have improved as they earn additional income and have self-confidence.
Our project has given these people opportunities to beat their chests without their hands, speak without a voice, and see hope in life without their eyes. Because the only thing that can stop us from achieving things in life is not just an empty head, but an empty heart.
Our next project, Evergreen.
In northern Nigeria, we have discovered that one of the major factors contributing to desert encroachment is drought as a result of rapid evaporation, which is aggravated by unethical tree felling, where 90% of these trees are being cut down and used in local communities as means of cooking fuel.
We identified desert-prone areas in northern Nigeria. In the year 2008, our team embarked on a tree planting campaign. The next year, we introduced an alternative to the use of firewood. But the third year was particularly challenging for our team, as we required more funding, a collaborative strategy, and an improved machine design. But due to insurgent attacks on our communities, we missed out on major funding from various organizations.
Despite all these challenges, in 2011, all our efforts paid off. We got the funds and the right machine we needed. Since then, the Evergreen project has seen tremendous growth and expansion, from the reduction of carbon emission to economic empowerment, tree planting, and an innovative cooking technology. All these we have done in the aim of improving the lives of people in northern Nigeria, where over 57% of their population are women.
In the first year, from our needs assessments, we discovered that women in this part of the nation depend on cutting down of trees as source of cooking fuel, owing to the fact that other sources are expensive. In a bid to solve their immediate problem, they contribute to the adverse environmental problem, which makes our nation lose over 350,000 hectares of land annually to desert encroachment.
Considering all these factors, we came up with a unified solution comprising of environmental campaign, tree planting, and innovative cooking technology, and providing an alternative to firewood. This year, we partnered with the United States Embassy, First City Monument Bank, and BIA. The project was carried out in 2 states, where we ensured that 70% of our target audience were women.
In Kaduna State, Keita and Meadua local government were our target audience. Now, by partnering with the state and local government, traditional and religious leaders, we created awareness through media jingles and flyers in their local dialects on the ill effects of tree felling and women marginalization in 10 communities so as to tackle the environmental challenge.
With support from our partners, FCNB, 100,500 tree seedlings worth over $93,000 was provided. With these seedlings, we created a plantation around the affected areas to help restore their lost arable lands. And this result led us a question. After planting all these trees, what measures can we use to stop people from cutting them down?
It is on this note, we introduced a solution that would serve as an alternative to firewood. This alternative is known as briquette. It is made from agricultural waste, compressed together, and it is cheaper than firewood. This makes it better because it burns slower, with little smoke, thereby reducing the demand for firewood. And to be able to commercialize the production of briquettes, we designed and produced a simple briquetting machine.
To further enhance the use of briquettes, Save 80 stove was introduced, which saved 80% the amount of firewood used, thereby saving 80% the amount of carbon dioxide emitted into the atmosphere. To enhance the use of briquettes and Save 80 stoves, we introduced the use of Wonder Box. Its working principle is similar to that of a vacuum flask, which retains temperature for about 12 hours. So in reality, without briquettes, a family would have used an average tree to cook in 2 months.
In collaboration with First City Monument Bank and BIA, 86 briquetting machines, 550 Save 80 stoves and wonder boxes were given to the people of these communities. In the second state, we worked with the Enactus team of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, Udus, where we trained 200 people from Gumbi and Dundaye local government area on the production of briquettes, utilization of Save 80 stoves and wonder boxes due to the fact that they are closer to these people.
We went a step further to collaborate with 2 resource persons who taught them on skill acquisition, such as fish farming, leather making, and pastries, in order to create multiple streams of income. At the end of this training, seed capital was given to participants with exceptional performance. And from our posters, we are proud to say that the joy, the enthusiasm these people feel is something we cannot help but tell you.
After distributing 86 briquetting machines, 15 people now produce and sell briquettes in commercial quantities, thereby serving as a source of income.
By distributing 550 Save 80 stoves, each family saves an average of $137 in 6 months, resulting to a cumulative of $75,000.
100 square kilometers of desertified land has been regenerated by planting 100,500 tree seedlings.
So far, we've been able to stop 1.9 million kilograms of carbon dioxide from being emitted into the atmosphere.
40 families can now afford quality education for their children.
525 women now contribute to the finance of their families as they are no longer marginalized. Honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the testimony of one of our beneficiaries.
To ensure the sustainability of this project, our team formed the P4P Club, an acronym for Plants for the Planet in 10 secondary schools. Now, the aim of this club is to imbibe the culture of growing and nurturing plants in children. Our partnership with Service to Humanity Foundation, which has a sole aim of eradicating desertification, will help us ensure the long-term sustainability of this project as they are closer to the people.
We encourage the use of Save 80 stove and Wonder Box by providing them at a subsidized rate of $81, which is payable through a 6-month installmental payment plan, considering the fact that these individuals are impoverished. This was made possible with the help of the U.S. Embassy and FCMD.
And by partnering with FCMB, which has a solid asset base, our future plan is to reach out to other parts of northern Nigeria and neighboring countries that suffer the effects of desertification.
In line with the Enactus judging criterion, we consider the economic factor by empowering these people with entrepreneurial skill to generate income through the commercialization of the sales of briquettes and startup of cottage industries to create a source of income.
And through our sensitization, gender inequality was tackled. Women were given a voice to champion issues of their environment, and we discouraged illegal tree felling, thereby addressing the social factor.
In addressing the environmental factor, 100,500 tree seedlings were planted, which will help restore their lost arable lands. And by distributing 550 Save 80 stoves, 1.9 million kilograms of carbon dioxide will not be emitted into the atmosphere.
Our target audience were in need, as there was loss of arable land, impoverishment, and women marginalization.
In regards to economic concept and entrepreneurial approach, thanks to the simple innovation on briquettes, Save 80 stoves and Wonder Box, cooking is cheaper, faster, and healthier.
We effectively empowered our beneficiaries by giving them the knowledge, skills, and capacity they need to generate income.
Thanks to Enactus, I have learned to love with not just my heart, but my actions, by empowering the lives of people in need.
Neutralizing obstacles.
Actualizing dreams.
Creating opportunities.
Transforming lives, our ideas.
Utilizing resources to create wealth.
Solving problems with an empty pocket.
And all this we did on the platform of
Enactus.
Thank you.
Thank you to the team from Nigeria. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Well done, Nigeria. I was impressed with the what do you call it, the entrepreneurial aspect of the brisket. I'm going to ask you questions on the first one, the disability. Okay. Now, you mentioned that you brought in 70 disabled persons. Now, the disabled persons were made up of different types of disabled persons. Some were blind, Some had, defective limbs and so on and so forth. I thought the training that you wanted to give them to make them, empower them to be, skilled and self-sufficient and so on, would be different depending on the disability. I was expecting a breakdown of the type of disabled and specifically what sort of skills you were able to, give to these and the effect after the training. I think a bit more detailed breakdown of the whole thing rather than an overview.
All right. Thank you very much for your question. Yes, we actually separated them based on their disabilities. Those who were blind were taught on the craft work, and some of the crippled and deaf and dumb individuals were also taught on the craft work. But the paint making was specifically for those who are crippled and deaf and dumb, because we have students who actually know how to sign language, and trying to tell a blind man how to put some chemicals together is not safe for him. So we taught him on the craft work, while the physically challenged, the crippled, and the deaf were taught on the paint making, and also some of them were also in the craft work creation. Sorry, your next question, I know you asked too, so. All right. The physically challenged people, the blind, which we taught, the training was for 1 month so they could get acquainted with all the skills. After the training, many of them generate a certain income based on the amount of products they produce in 1 month. Now, they have this shop which is open in our state in the Kaduna Central Market, where each month, each physically challenged person takes a certain number of products which he or she has produced to that shop. Aside that, every 3 months, we hold an exhibition where other people from the society can get to see the beautiful job these physically challenged people are doing.
And in addition to what she just said, from our team's sustainability philosophy of teamwork, we use the 3-for-all approach that we stated in our presentation to teach them how to work as a team, where the blind can hear for the deaf can see for the blind, and the cripple can speak for all.
Thank you, Nigeria, for the nice presentation. As long as the first project is concerned, it's the first year, so they are nice results. But the second, yes. What is it that you've done during this year? Because you give us a cumulative results for 6 years. So what did you do this year for Evergreen?
Thank you for your question. In 2011, we started this project far back in 2008 with a tree planting campaign. But knowing fully well that planting trees will not stop them from cutting them down. So we decided to bring an innovation, which is the alternative to firewood. Well, in 2011, that's when we introduced a briquette machine, where they can produce this alternative source of firewood on their own. But in order to expand it, knowing fully well that there's wide market for this, we decided to go to commercialize the sales of briquette. And we designed a new machine that produces 3 times its amount it produced in 2011. So this year, we came up with an innovative commercialized machine that produced 148 briquettes in an hour.
And your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the team from Nigeria.